A message appeared on a quiet Friday evening. It contained only one sentence. The guest list has been finalized. Please understand if you are unable to attend. Evelyn Parker read the line over and over again. Her small apartment fell into silence. Outside the window, the lights of Portland still glowed as they always did, steady and indifferent. But inside, something was breaking. Not because she had not been invited, but because just 3 days earlier she had transferred the final payment for her parents' wedding anniversary celebration. For months, Evelyn's phone had barely stopped ringing. Her mother needed money for the deposit on the lakeside resort. Her Aunt Sharon needed funding for decorations. Her father needed help with sound systems and dinner arrangements. Every time, Evelyn agreed without hesitation, without a single refusal, because in her heart family had always been the most important thing. At 37, Evelyn was the most successful person in the Parker family. She managed the finance department of a large corporation, with an income most people could only dream of, yet very few knew that her success had been built through years of exhaustion and sacrifice. To her relatives, Evelyn was simply the one who could solve every problem with money. Monica, her closest friend, had warned her many times that they only called when they needed something, but Evelyn always smiled and said it was her family. Until that evening when the cold message appeared, with no explanation and no apology, only a brief announcement that she did not belong at the very celebration she had helped create. What hurt even more was her parents' reaction. Her father did not call back. Her mother only sent one more message saying, "Do not make things difficult." Evelyn stared at her phone for a long time. For the first time, she allowed herself to ask a question she had avoided for years. Did they truly love her, or did they only love what she could pay for? And deep inside, an uncomfortable truth slowly began to surface. Perhaps all these years, she had never been a guest in her own family at all, only the one standing behind the payment counter. For several days afterward, Evelyn did not reply to anyone. Not because she was angry, but because for the first time in years, she did not know what to say. Every morning, her phone lit up with messages about the celebration. Schedules, vendor lists, last-minute changes. What was strange was that no one mentioned she had not been invited, as if it was completely normal, as if the person paying thousands of dollars for an event did not need to be present at it. Monica saw everything. She sat across from Evelyn in a small cafe on a quiet Sunday afternoon, then gently pushed the phone toward her. "Do you realize they are still asking you for help?" Evelyn looked at the screen. Her mother had sent another request for an additional expense. No greeting, no apology, just another bill. In that moment, something inside Evelyn finally shifted. That evening, she reopened every financial record, every contract, every invoice, every transfer she had made. For the first time, she read what she had signed with full attention. Then she found something that made her go completely still. In the official event plan submitted to the organizers, her name was not listed under family guests. It appeared in another section, main sponsor. Evelyn sat in silence for a long time. The pain was gone, replaced by something colder, a clarity that felt almost unsettling. Minutes later, she picked up her phone. Her first call went to the event company, her second to the decoration vendor, her third to the resort finance department. Her voice was calm, almost unfamiliar to herself. No tears, no anger, only clear decisions. For the first time in years, Evelyn stopped trying to buy her place in someone else's heart, and in that moment, the perfect plan her family had built began to crack. The day of the ceremony finally arrived. The lakeside resort was decorated in breathtaking elegance under the soft afternoon sunlight. Cars began arriving early, and guests slowly made their way inside. Yet behind the perfect appearance, chaos was quietly spreading. Vendors demanded payment confirmations, the event team made non-stop calls, and unpaid invoices forced several arrangements to come to a halt. Robert Parker stood in the middle of the grand hall with a tense expression. He called Evelyn repeatedly, once, twice, 10 times, but there was no answer. Linda was starting to panic. She insisted that the organizers continue as planned, but nothing worked the way it used to. There was no one silently fixing every problem anymore. There was no Evelyn. That afternoon, a relative suddenly sent Evelyn screenshots from the family chat group, messages exchanged weeks before the event. Linda and Sharon discussing the guest list, and then a single line that made Evelyn go still. As long as Evelyn keeps paying, everything will be fine. In that moment, every piece finally fell into place. This was never a misunderstanding, never an oversight. It had been decided long ago. The ceremony ended in disappointment and blame, but Evelyn no longer cared. Months later, she moved into a new apartment overlooking the river, where silence replaced every demand. No more calls asking for help, no more invoices treated as obligations. One evening, Robert called again, his voice older, heavier, saying the family was not the same anymore. Evelyn looked at the reflection of city lights on the water and finally understood something simple. Boundaries do not destroy families, exploitation does, and it had been doing so long before she ever chose to walk away.